Hi, I'm Hazel. It's almost Saturday today, and that makes it time to sit down and catch up with a brand new vlog. This week we got news about what the WoW 15th anniversary is going to look like. And a note of caution before you get too hyped about this news, because it's pretty hype. The anniversary is not till November. I got really excited, like seeing the news posts, and then I read them further after just looking at the pretty screenshots and was like, wow, that's November. It's gonna be a while, but anyways, the things that are happening, they are releasing a 15th anniversary collector's edition box. It will cost $100, and inside there is an 11-inch Ragnaros statue, an Onyxia pin, an Azeroth mousepad. You get 2 alabaster mounts, or well, 1 depending on which faction you are. You get some art prints, and the only thing that you don't get is a game, because we have that already, so it would be weird for them to put it in. But that's a thing, and it's quite exciting depending on whether or not you want it, but whether or not you want it, it's sold out now. I was personally really on the fence because I collect plushies, and I don't really have room to collect statues. I don't really have a place for them, and if I have to pick one, I want to pick plushies because I can't break them. I kind of want the mouse pad, but spending $100 on a mouse pad is just irresponsible. So I was hemming and hawing about it, and then it sold out, and then I didn't have to make that decision anymore. So that's going to be a thing. Maybe they'll have more of them available for pre-order. Hard to say. It's not coming out until next fall. But the mounts at least will be available separately on the gear store, and that I'm really happy about because they're like gargoyle-style alabaster. There's like a griffin and a wyvern mound, and that's really cool. I really want that, so I'm glad that even if I can't get a box, or if I choose not to, at least I'll be able to buy those separately. The second thing that's going to be going on for the anniversary is the in-game 15th anniversary event, and again, not until the end of November, but there is going to be a Deathwing Mount. I could not believe it when I saw this. I don't know why I couldn't believe it, you know, that we have like an Onyxia mount that kind of looks like Onyxia. This is a Deathwing mount that kind of looks like Deathwing. It's amazing, and the way you're going to get that, they'll have a challenge available during the 15th anniversary event that is something to the effect of like LFR with old bosses. So if you are around for the 10th anniversary event, which I can't believe was already almost 5 years ago, if you're around for like the Molten Core event with the Core Hound mount, it's going to be a similar kind of idea to that, but with just like assorted bosses in kind of like a boss rush sort of thing. So that'll be fun to look forward to. There's also a little Nefarian pet that you'll get just for logging in during the event, and I am very excited even though it is still, what is it now, like May? 6 months away. Other news from this week, huge news of course, the WoW Classic release date was announced, so if you've been waiting for that, that will be out August 27th of this year. It is summer 2019, it'll be the end of summer, which is a bummer if you have summer off, but you know, what do you do? That'll be coming, and then the beta is live right now, so you can probably log on to Twitch and watch your favorite streamer, or a streamer, take on the WoW Classic beta. Very exciting news for WoW Classic fans. Also this week, they released a brand new official cinematic called Safe Haven featuring Thrall and Saurfang and some sneaky boys. Or girls. I didn't really get a good look because they were sneaky. But that's out. If you somehow haven't seen that yet, I'll link in the description. But I feel like everybody has seen it now. It's trending on YouTube, which is really cool to see. And man, what a cool cinematic. I do agree with the criticism that we've had like an awful lot of Horde story focused like official cinematics in BFA. We've had some like Jaina and Alliance stuff, but that's been more of like the in-game cinematic, whereas these ones are like, you know, expansion launch style and quality cinematics. But it's still a really cool story that they're telling. There's a lot of conspiracies floating around that are trying to explain the weirdness that is, and spoilers if you haven't seen it, go see it, but there's like theories going around trying to explain the weirdness that is Sylvanas just sending 2 randos to kill Thrall, you know, like Thrall. So people have different theories about maybe she's up to something else, maybe she intended for them to fail, maybe they were trying to kidnap his family. My opinion is that she really is just that dumb in this new universe. I don't think that 2011 Sylvanas would have done it, but I do think 2019 Sylvanas would have done it. She's done some questionable things before, and I think this is just part of her story, regardless of whether or not we think it fits with her character. That's a theme going around right now with other popular media. I won't touch on Game of Thrones too much, but that's a thing too. So yeah, I really like the cinematic. I am interested to see if Sylvanas has like a super surprising twist plan or if she's actually just that dumb. We'll find out. In my week this week, we made the Fireside log on a baking stream yesterday. We did the Mechagon dungeon on the PTR at the end of Tuesday's stream. I just got that VOD up. I was also on the Wowhead Weekly stream yesterday, guesting on their podcast, which was very nice of them to have me on. So very stream heavy week. I've got raid testing this afternoon, so I should probably talk quickly because I gotta get this wrapped up. Yeah, light videos, just a lot of streams, but next week should be a little better for videos for me, theoretically, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong. In my personal life this week, if you follow me on Twitter, you may have already seen this. My blue and red betta fish, Fleta, he passed away earlier this week. He had a fairly long struggle with he had a tumor that he'd been living with for several months, so he's finally moved on to the great water body of the sky, where I'm sure there's lots of good leaves to nap on, and he can have any snacks he wants. And in that place, you might be able to see I have, it's kind of soon, but I had a space in my home for a fish, and I wanted to give that home to a fish. So I set up a different tank and a little bit of a different filter, tried to improve on the setup a little bit. But I have a new betta fish. I'll throw up some footage that I took of him. He's like black and white like a panda with translucent fins right now, but he is a marble betta, so he's likely going to change in color quite a lot. And because he's kind of got like panda colors, I haven't named him yet, but I'm thinking like a Pandaren themed name. And so far I've got Chen, as in Chen Stormsnout, or Emperor Xiao Hao, which is a huge mouthful, but I do kind of like it. In WoW this week for me, I haven't had a lot of time to play WoW, which makes me sad because I'm just staring at my gold amount, wishing it was more so that I could buy a Brutosaur mount. I should probably do things that actually make gold. And the thing that I kind of want to do is just somehow grind out, like I want to grind out the rest of the Island Expedition mounts. And I know that's kind of like saying I want to drink the entire ocean because there's a lot of them and they're very rare. I guess that's a terrible metaphor, but you know what I mean. That would be a lot of, like, I don't even know how many islands, but I also make good gold when I do islands because you get like pets and you get transmog and they don't sell for a lot, but you get a lot of them and it kind of adds up over time. So I kind of want to grind out like a bajillion islands. Maybe I should at least wait until after the patch so that I'm getting AP for it, because I'm pretty close to the AP cap on my priest. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there. And questions from this week. Annalicia asks, could you please do a dungeon guide for new or casual players? Also, at what level can you start soloing dungeons? So I do dungeon guides. They cover mostly the mechanics in the fight, and the big difference between a normal to heroic to a mythic dungeon, you're going to see bigger numbers, so more damage and more health on the things that you're fighting. And you're also going to see new mechanics in the boss fights. So you'll do the boss on normal, and then when you go to heroic, there'll be like a new thing that it does, and then on mythic, there will be another new thing that it does, or sometimes a few of them. So I try in my boss guides to make a point of pointing out at what difficulty those new mechanics come in, but I'll make extra sure when doing the dungeon guides this time around to be very thorough about that. As far as soloing dungeons, rule of thumb, I think if you are 11 levels or higher than the dungeon, then you should be able to roughly solo it. I always like to go for a bigger gap because I don't want to pay attention when I'm trying to solo dungeons. So I like to solo up to mop stuff at 120 or like wad stuff on my geared main, but not really any farther than that for me personally. Christy asks, I'd love to see your hubby and you play some WoW together or get together for a Q&A or something. I really just want to meet the guy who keeps you happy. Well, that is very sweet, and I totally get the inclination. I also really enjoy seeing like the significant others of YouTubers I watch or streamers. Love that. But the reason why I'm personally being selfish and not doing it, I made a very conscious and open-eyed decision to live my life very publicly and online. And there's a lot that goes along with that, some of which you can't necessarily see like at face value. So at the end of the day, while I'm not like hiding him away, we've decided to more or less let him have his privacy. Ashley asks, would you ever play on an EU server, specifically Horde? I would love to be able to join leveling viewer dungeons with you, but I am on EU. So I do have an EU account, but the sub is inactive, and the reason for that is I just can't get invested in playing more than one WoW account at the same time. It's the same reason why I don't really actively play other MMOs, even if they might be really fun. I've got like a bunch of friends playing Final Fantasy XIV. I have a real soft spot for Black Desert Online, but I can't keep up with more than one game. I feel like any time spent in not the main one is just like, I would rather be working towards goals on my main account. So that's why I don't really play on my EU account. And that's also the reason why I don't really see myself like long term playing Classic. Like I might dabble around in it and noodle around a little more, but can't really see myself actively keeping up with 2 WoW lives. That's just a lot. Thaddeus asks, I have a question for you. What are your thoughts, good or bad, on multi-boxing? I'd be interested to hear. So my gut feeling, my instinctual response regarding multi-boxing is I don't like it, but I don't have like a specific problem with it. Like I don't hate multi-boxers, you know, they're not specifically hurting me. Worst case scenario, somebody's like affecting the auction house economy, but the same thing could happen if somebody was just really dedicated in one character. So I'm not too mad about it. I just would never really do it myself because I feel like it would really gut the fantasy, at least for me, of, you know, you're building your character's gold stash and you're building their gear and you're building their reputation and you're like building this story for your character as you play. And if I was just multi-boxing, I feel like that would really cut like the heart out of it for me and make it feel a lot drier. Razor Gaming asks, how could we all play with you and how many mounts do you have? So for mounts, I logged on to check just now and the total number is 426. And then the number that like counts towards the achievements, the usable on a single character number, that would be 378. And then as far as playing with me, I do that on live streams sometimes. Usually Friday live streams, I'll put together groups for island expeditions or time walking or viewer dungeons. Not every stream, but like whenever it makes sense. And outside of that, I'm very selfish and I keep my WoW social life super locked down because I really like being able to just log on and either record without having to talk to anybody or like play quietly and just kind of like play WoW without having to talk to anybody. I'm a little antisocial like that. So the best place to chat and play with me would be my live streams, and outside of that, I am very mean. And that has been my week. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions that you would like answered on a vlog, please leave them in the comments of the most recent vlog and include the word question. Let me know what you think, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!